appreciate, first of all, our hosts, Psychiatric, University of Utah Neuropsychiatric Institute. I want to appreciate or express my appreciation for the training. Without Uni, we wouldn't have the hands-on training that you all just received. And even more importantly, without them, we wouldn't have the real-time crisis intervention that they provide, which I think is unique and in many ways one of a kind in the United States. I'd also like to thank the commission members, the commission that has helped put all of these programs together. I think I saw some of the members here today, and would especially like to acknowledge Missy Larson, who is the Chief of Staff on the Utah Attorney General's in the Utah Attorney General's office. She chairs the commission and has worked tirelessly to help get this program to where it is now, and is committed to continue to work with you all to get this program into the hands of every parent, child, educator throughout the state. Let me also recognize, as Missy alluded to, Senator Daniel Thatcher. It was his vision, and along with Representative Steve Elison, it really was their vision to take two components, and some of you may not appreciate fully the power of the SafeUT program. I've downloaded it on both phones. Many states have a SafeTALK app, a law enforcement tip mechanism, which is critical in its own right. We wanted to do more, and so we incorporated that facet, a critical law enforcement tool where people could report crimes or potential crimes. But I think the real magic of this program is not just the law enforcement app, but it's the crisis intervention. And for us, that has been the emphasis. I recently came back from training about 20 attorneys general, and when I shared with them the numbers, not just in Utah, but nationwide, they were staggered and committed in their own states, or recommitted to put more resources towards this epidemic that we face. I want to take a second to recognize a particular group of pastors who serve as an advisory committee along with many other groups throughout the state, and will from time to time come up to the Capitol and ask what they can do to help. And in this case, Pastor Greg Johnson leads a group of pastors, and it wasn't but a month ago or so, Pastor Greg, that you said, what can we do? And we said, please get some hands-on training and then help us get the word out. And it morphed from pastor training to why not, and I appreciate Greg's openness about this, why not open it up to every member of the faith community? And it's really remarkable here to see such a cross-section of faith leaders from all different religious traditions. I think I want to say one other thing about the impact of the faith community. There are elements of our society that today try to marginalize or even trivialize the work that you do, your ministries, and the dedicated work that you dedicate your lives to. Our communities, our state, our nation has been strong and built upon the foundation of the faith community, and so I just wanted to add my personal appreciation and thanks to you. Your work often goes on behind the scenes unheralded, but I know and many in the community know how critical it is. Let me say also, rural communities as well as urban and suburban communities are being ravaged by this threat to our young people. Affluent and blue-collar backgrounds, it doesn't matter. It reaches out and touches people of all walks of life. It doesn't matter racial background, religious tradition. It is something that we all have to deal with, and all of our kids are at risk. I want to acknowledge the work of the Commission and Uni in getting out into the community. They are at events all of the time. They just had a great presence at the Pride Festival this last weekend for a very hyper-vulnerable group of youth, and we had a booth. Again, just kudos for getting out into the community. You're doing a great job advertising in schools. I brought this because on Saturday I had a comp basketball game for one of my sons, and at Union Middle School I took a photo of the SafeUT sign hanging in the walls that says, "Be a force for change." Again, while school is out of session, and even when it is, we urge the faith leaders who are here to continue to be involved as much as you can in the lives of your youth. And I think you're better equipped today than you were yesterday to deal with this crucial issue. And again, it doesn't matter what background, every one of the kids in the state of Utah are our kids. And so we have something that this is not a political issue, it's not a partisan issue, it's a human issue and a survival issue. I've spoken to countless parents now and teachers and educators, and they are floored. Many people in our community have no idea the severity and the pervasiveness of this issue. And so now it's incumbent on you, now that you're trained, to go out and use the influence, use the pulpit figuratively and literally in your congregations to educate those the parishioners, and no matter their social, economic, religious, racial, or geographical background. So thank you for protecting our kids. God bless you all. Godspeed in your work, and have a great day.
I was 11 years old the first time I lost a classmate to suicide. And I was 16 when it was a close friend. But sadly, my story is not unique. Suicide is the leading cause of death for Utah children over the age of 10. We're starting to recognize that. We're starting to pay more attention. I want to be very clear that, in my opinion, the real heroes here are the folks at Unity. The people who day in and day out are standing by to hear the most difficult, most painful stories from people who are literally in the darkest moments of their lives and talk them through it. I am so grateful for them. This app is my way of helping make sure that people who are in those moments of crisis don't have to remember a 10-digit number. They don't have to take the time to sit down and Google how to get help. Because we are focused on children, we went where children live, and these days kids live on their phones. With this app, with a single touch of a button, they can be connected to people who can literally save their lives. So here's what I will ask you to do. Even if you never struggled yourself, even if you don't have issues with depression, even if you are not struggling with thoughts of suicide, put the app on your phone. Take out your phones right now. If you haven't already done it, take out your phones, go to the App Store, and put it on. And the reason I ask you to do that is because if it is on your phone, you will remember that it is there the next time you're dealing with someone and you're thinking, you know what, this person needs help. This app gives them completely confidential and anonymous help from people that will never know who they are unless they choose to volunteer that information. And that is why Uni has been so successful at being able to help these people. I hope that you will help be a part of that. I hope that you will encourage all of the people in your life that you care about to put this app on your phone, even if they think they don't need it. I actually read one of the communications that came in from someone who said, you know, somebody talked me into putting this on my phone. And I put it on even though I knew I wasn't going to need it, but it looks like I did. So thank you for being here. Thank you for caring. Thank you for making this a priority. And thank you to the good folks at Uni for doing the amazing job that you do.
On behalf of Uni, I want to thank everybody for coming and supporting this incredible project. We've been very excited to do this for a long time and feel very fortunate that the legislature and the commission chose us to provide this service. We started at the end of January. We now have about 200 schools enrolled. So if you look on your app, on the tips section of the app, you'll see a list of schools. Those are the schools that are currently enrolled in the program. We have about 600 more schools to go to get to all the students in the the state of Utah. And we're working diligently to do that. We're talking with school districts every day and have a strategy to get everybody on board, hopefully within the next year or so. We are talking to kids every day, students every day, about depression, about suicide, about relationship problems, any kind of difficulties that they may have. And we would have never been able to speak with them without the SafeUT app and this project, because they weren't calling us. You know, this is their comfort mode of conversation, and we are adapting to that, and we are really thankful that we've been able to do that. And we know that summer's coming up, and there'll be less structure for students and young people, and so we hopefully are going to be able to provide some extra tools for them. And your help getting the awareness out is really critical for everyone. We want everyone in Utah to know about this, of course. But really, right now, we're really passionate about getting our students and young people aware of this and having it on their phones so they can download it. And we're reaching out to every agency, and we really appreciate their support again. And I really want to thank the Commission for all the work that they've been doing to get the word out there.
I want to thank you so much, Misty, for inviting here to me today. I'm the pastor of St. Paul's United Methodist Church in Copperton, Utah. If you look for the mine, that's where we're at. But I want to share a story. Teen suicide showed up at our doors twice in the last 2 years. As a family was still grieving over the loss of their first son to suicide, they lost their second son 2 years later to the mine. Our small congregation of 20 started collecting loose change in a gallon bucket, and we collected over the winter season through Christmas. We actually held a concert, Wesley Bell's concert, and asked for a free will offering for the money to go towards teen suicide prevention and awareness. At that same time, I just happened to come across an article in the Salt Lake Tribune about the Utah Safe phone app, and I contacted Lillian Jensen from the Utah State Office of Education to see if they could use our money, our small amount of only $705, but we wanted to do something with that money. So with the approval of the family who lost their 2 sons in Lillian's house, we were able to pay for some of the printing costs of the cards today that you see. To me, it's an example of how a small group, just a small group of people, can make a change in somebody else's life. And so we are honored here today to be able to share our story and help build awareness for those in crisis. You know, it's funny, as a pastor, I used to say if I could save one soul, then I would have done my job. And maybe you too feel that same way. But as working through this crisis with this family, it has touched my life so deeply that I now say, if I can touch a life, save a life, I can save a soul, and then I have done my job. And as the pastor always says, amen.
So as we close, if you could make sure that you get the resources that are here today. Stickers on suicide prevention talk line, the SafeUT cards over here. You can hand out as many as you'd like to your congregants. The crisis line number for people to call, anybody to call. And it is important to know that this resource, this app, the call, the crisis support is for everybody. It's not just for students. It's 24/7. It's around the clock. There are people here waiting to